Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Gananatha Ganapati Gom Bhavamahe Priyanatha Sripati Gom Bhavamahe Nidinatha Nidipati Gom Bhavamahe Vaso Mama Aham Jani Gavadamatma Jasi Garvidam. Just a little chanting here, friends, to warm up with a little. And put a little shout out there for sound check. If you're feeling that, sounds okay. We still have a few minutes before we start class. If you want to take a seat, just enjoy the vibrations. It's beautiful. So chant to Ganesha. And its translation is such that it's one who listens or chants to the 12 names of Ganesha ensures success in any of their endeavors, whether it be the start of education, or at the time of marriage, or calamity, or otherwise. And there's a special oblation to Vishnu, the one who preserves the creation, and also to the ancient teachers from the ancient time. Om Samukhascha Kadantascha Kapilo Gijkarnakaha Namo Rarasya Vikato Vignanasho Vinayakaha Dhumaketu Ganajaksho Balachandro Gajananaha Dvadashaitani Namani Yapate Tunuyadipi Vidyarambe Vivapeta Praveshe Nirgame Kata Sahangame Sakate Chaiva Vignastasya Najayate Vignapali Putaraya Shri Ganadhi Pataye Namaha Vakarutunda Mahakarya Suri Putti Samaprabha Harinam Kurume Deva Sarvakayesu Sarvada Shuklam Bharadadam Vishnum Shashivanam Chittubhijam Rasanavananam Daye Sarvavigna Upashantaye Namaste Sham Jayaste Sham Bhutaste Sham Purajayaha Yesham Nivarashamo Hridayasya Janardanaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And just inviting Ganesh to take a seat in the heart here. The remover of obstacles, a collaborator, a friend, a playful one. Om Nanada Samayuktam Muktahar Vibhusitam Sonasam Asanam Taru Ritartam Pratigritam Om Nanaratna Samayuktam Muktahar Vibhusitam Sonasam Asanam Taru Ritartam Pratigritam Om Nanaratna Samayuktam Muktahar Vibhusitam Svanasam Asanam Charu Trichatam Pratigritam Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om. Okay. So good morning, friends. Thank you for joining me here this morning. And a little chai and chat, although the chai has been drank already. Going to get a little sip of water, and just want to kind of support our practice today with a little conversation to start. The title of this class is the planes of perception. The planes of perception, and just a little story to start with that. Years ago, when I was at the Mount Madonna Center, and I talk about this often because this is where my spiritual lineage is. Good morning, Sarah and Maggie. Good morning. Say good morning out there if you want to. There's a Hanuman temple there, and I mean, it's just in the rapture of the Indian community, really significantly. And the custom is people take their shoes off before they go onto the plateau of the temple. And here at Shivalaya, it's the same thing. We take our shoes off before we come into this area. And I asked my mentor there one time, what is that about? I mean, what if there was more he could add to that? Because everything is a purpose and a symbol, at the same time. And he said, well, he goes, when we take our shoes off, we're, they're in the world, they're in the physical realm. And when the pilgrim, the devotee, steps onto the plateau of the temple, they're literally entering into a different realm. Good morning, Sam. So when stepping onto this temple grounds, all of a sudden we've gone from the physical world, if you will, to the subtle world, or a different plane. And that is a symbol and also something that is real when we work deeper in our practice and go from our mind being, in the rapture, if you will, of the gross body, to a more subtle fabric. And so, to kind of describe that a little bit further, because I want to integrate this in our asana practice, and then have that carry through, into our sadhana. But when, like, I give an instruction to do a pose, you're activating the mind to experience a certain something in the body, and your perception, accurately so, is in the physical world. But we want to begin to create a more purified perception, a more subtle mind. And so then I'm going to be guiding us, and this is, happens every class, to go to the breath. And then what's happening with our breathing is that while we're breathing, we're also breathing in pranic, energy, life force energy is coming into the system, and it's supporting, the layer of our electric body or energy body, different ways to put it. And then, so we're working in what's called pranamaya kosha, or a different plane of perception. We're, perceiving our energy system. And then we can create even a more subtle structure internally, and that is if we concentrate on the third eye. And the third eye is this transition point where we're beginning to go into a fracture, if you will, of the time and space continuum. Because in the third eye, that's where clairvoyance begins to develop. And in clairvoyance, it's very simple. What happens is the perception is allowed to travel without a timeline, or it can enter any timeline, and it can perceive what happened before it and can perceive what will happen after it. And that's simply what clairvoyance is. And there's this whole kind of idea called krama, and that means succession or sequence of an unfolding of an event. And every past experience is with you in this present moment, and the potential for the future is also in existence. And so we'll kind of play with that a little bit, but then there's also, a couple more deeper layers. The next is if we bring our perception into the crown of our head, but not right at the top, just below it, maybe an inch or so, there's a subtle body structure that's called jnana chakra. And it's a triangle, actually, and it exactly looks like this. And on each corner of the triangle is one of the three gunas. And if that's a little newer term for you, I can understand. It's worth kind of studying for sure. But the yogis believe that there are three maha cosmic energies, the three gunas, rajas, tamas, and sattva guna. And when we concentrate here, we're beginning to resolve our perception of the physical world, and we're beginning to be able to perceive. It's called perception by direct identity. So all of a sudden, the field of our awareness is like we know the thing, because we're identifying not with its physical form, not even so much with its subtle body form, but with its vibration, if you will. And so this is called jnana, jnana maya kosha, which is considered the intellect sheath. And then we'll travel higher, and I'll kind of get into that when we do our meditation practice, because then I'm going to take us through this journey that goes through kind of a ranging kind of field of broadening perception. It's really very magical that we can feel like that we can direct the concentration of our mind to help open a place in our body. And that opening of that place in our bodies allows for our perception to widen or change or deepen or become more refined. And so there's always a practice within the practice. That's always the suggestion. And we'll definitely work with that this morning. So yeah. Have a little different view of altar. So this is Nataraj, obviously, behind me. And yeah, it's a little cool today, a little cloudy. It's really nice. So perfect for practice. I'm going to slip back to my seated position here. And just take a moment and just settle into your seated position. And as it becomes rooted, last week we worked with grounding and extension, so length. And so find a nice platform for your seated position, whatever that may be. Broad, open chest, extension through the crown of the head here. And then begin to breathe into the belly. So we take maybe some of the vibrations of the sympathetic nervous system and bring just a sense of almost passivity to them, but more sense of presence to them. As you continue breathing into the belly, let the body relax here. What I would say, what's happening in this time that we're in is that our perceptions are being run, by the mind and our thoughts, the physical world, and our emotions. And well, that has its place, obviously. Sometimes we can just run away with that. And our deeper nature is really kind of the pivot point for developing a sense of peace or integrating things in a different way or deeper way. And then gently begin to breathe now a little deeper. So the full yogic breath, we know this, the belly expands, the ribs expand, the chest lifts and expands. And maybe feel into something in your life's work, as it were, whatever it may be, and with this idea that maybe if your perception of an event or a relationship or something was a little bit more refined, there may be a higher knowledge that could appear for that, and we recognize that the quietude is what really kind of supports that the most. And we'll chant a couple of ohms to initiate our practice here this morning. And so gently exhale your breathing and then take a nice big inhale here to chant. And then again, another nice big inhale. Ashtavinchani Shivani Shakmani Sahayogan Bhajantu Me Yogan Prapaye Ksheman cha ksheman prapadye yogan cha namo ahoratrabhyam astu. Translation is may we become accomplished in the practices of yoga, and may we be happy. And let this body, which is made of the 28 planets, the 28 tattvas, be fully engaged in the practices of yoga. And by that engagement, we ask that we're protected. And by being protected, may we remain engaged in yoga. Om. So take just a moment and allow your perception, your awareness to be fully engaged in how the body is feeling. Take a moment and fully establish that relationship. And then notice your breathing. The suggestion here is to breathe very smooth and slow, both on the inhale and the exhale. Maybe a minor pause at the top of the inhale and bottom of the exhale. This little pause allows for the subtle body to receive the pranic energy that is naturally flowing with the breath. And then just a little third eye activator. As you inhale, lift the energy of the breath into the center of your brain, third eye area, Agni Chakra. And as you exhale, let that energy expand through the head region or through the chakra. There's this idea in yoga, it's called Satkaryavad. Satkaryavad. And it's a principle that simply says the cause is inherent in the effect. And that describes the krama, that describes the succession of the becoming. Let your awareness gently pivot back to your breathing. And we'll come off of our seated position here. Gently open the eyes, of course. And then we'll make our way to a tabletop position. Just take a moment, feel a sense of being really grounded on your mat. And then just very simple, right? Cat-cow stretches. So inhale, look up, lengthen the front spine, the belly releases down, sits bones flare. Then exhale, round, belly button in, chin in, tailbone in. And then just continue that movement of cat-cow stretches, Vidalasana. And feel free to allow your awareness to just travel in the sensations of the body. Whatever you're feeling, just allow that identification to develop. And then coming into neutral position, begin to just circle the hips, say in a clockwise position. Work with linking this movement also with the breath. And so as you inhale, float forward, we catch the inhale. And as we exhale, the hips draw back. Yeah. And then when it feels good, gently switch the direction here. Continue to link movement and breath though. And then begin to just fade your awareness from the body sensation and just kind of focus on your breathing here. And just notice the quality of the mind, because then the mind goes into a sense of what's called dharana, and that means concentration. And then coming into neutral position, let the left hand draw under the face with an inhale, take the right hand to the sky, give the wrist a spin, breathe very deeply. Yeah, and we'll thread the needle, a big inhale, and exhale, feeding now this right hand through on the inside, left shoulder, ear to the mat. The hips can drift to the right to seal the twist. You do this a lot. And just breathe here, go into that fully. And then gently draw the left hand back underneath you, ground it, and then inhale, float the right arm. Gently set the hand down and we'll switch. So ground the right hand when you're ready, inhale, float the left, wrist spins, breathe deep. And a nice big inhale. And again, now exhale, feeding the left hand through on the inside of the right shoulder and ear to the mat. Right hand reaches top edge of the mat, hips drift to the left. And just breathe here. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, now the right hand back underneath you, ground it. And then inhale, float the left. And then back to neutral. And then take the hands off the mat to the right side. Hips stay lifted. Again, it's pretty familiar territory here. Big inhale, exhale, arcing into the left side body as the forehead floats to or towards the earth. Breathe deeply. That first breath or two, the body really sends a lot of information. And then after a breath or two, then just focus on your breathing. Just transitioning the plane of perception. And then gently ground, hands firm, and I'll float up to neutral, and we'll switch this out. So take the hands off the mat to left side. Same thing, a nice big inhale. And exhale, arcing into the right side body, forehead floats to or towards the earth. Breathe very deeply. And then again, gently ground the hands and it'll float up to neutral. So we're back into tabletop. Extend the right leg behind you. Tuck the back toes under. A little stretch of the calf and Achilles. Just a little sense of warming up. And stay connected, though, also to your breath. And then float, when you're ready, this right leg and the left arm. Reach this right leg back and left arm forward. Then a nice big inhale. Next, exhale, rounding knee to elbow and squeeze in. Inhale, sweep open. And exhale, rounding. And one more of these. Inhale, sweep open. Exhale, round. Stay with me here. Inhale, sweep open. Ground the hand and float this right foot over to the right like so. And then just gently ground that right foot. Let the hips draw back. And then just bend the elbows and come onto the forearms here. Breathing deeply. So now begin to work this out on your own, where we move into a stretch and there's kind of like pronounced body identification, because the muscle being stretched is, say, just waking up in that moment. And then the mind can move from that dominant kind of sensation. There's so much information that's being fed to the mind to then abide just in the breathing. Gently, just come on up to neutral. So back in the tabletop, we'll switch this out. So extend the left leg, toes tuck under, a little stretch to the bottom foot, calf and Achilles. And then float left leg and right arm. There's just a cascade of sensation. But then what's happening is the mind then begins to concentrate. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, rounding, elbow to knee, squeeze in. And then again, inhale, sweep open. And exhale, rounding. And one more of these. Rounding. Sweep open. And then release this now. Right hand and the left hand goes out. Grounded on the earth. Come on the temple step there. Got my shoes off though. And then come onto the forearms. So a cascade, I'm just getting a cascade of sensation. And then one offering is if it feels like your mind is just being overrun with that experience and is, say, more challenged to pivot, to concentrate on, say, the breath. Maybe back out of the stretch just a little bit, create some space for the body, and then breathe deeply there. And then maybe you go back into a little deeper position. But that's how that really works well. And then come up to neutral here. So we're back in the tabletop, and we'll meet in down dog. So let the knees walk back. You know this. Tuck the toes under, hips lift, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Take any moments to move here, to feel into the body. And then just kind of notice too that, and I do this all the time, right? But I pace things slower. This idea that we're really allowed to experience the experience. Yeah. Just breathe deeply. And then lift the heels or come up onto the tippy toes. Sink the heart here. Maybe even bend the knees some. Little steeper pitch of the pelvis and the torso. And then gently straighten the legs. Oh. Yeah, stay with the breath. Send the hips up and back. Just ground the roots of the fingers. Let the body have some stability so it can create some length. And then gently a little bend in the knees, walk the feet to the hands in a forward fold. Uttanasana here, forward fold. Kind of extend the crown of the head towards the earth. Belly button to the spine. And then half lift here, inhale Ardha. So, and then again, just breathe very deeply. Nice big inhale and exhale. Hinging at the hips or pulling forward, head releases, hands release. And again, inhale Ardha, half lift. Exhale, folding. And then one more of these, half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold and put a little bend in the knees, and then send the left leg back into the lunge, ground the left hand. So we're just going to kind of go right into a twist here. Float this right arm to the sky. Just give the body a nice twist there. Breathing deeply. And again, just let the body kind of go through its spectrum of sensation, and then pivot to kind of concentrated breathing. Just give yourself some time to marinate here. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, float this right hand down. Inhale the breath here. And exhale, step back into high plank. Now high plank position. Breathe, hips are lifting. Stay with the breath. A nice big inhale. The next, so gently release the knees, Bhujangasana. So ground the tops of the feet, ground the pelvis here, and then float the torso. Shoulders move away from the ears. Chin is tucking slightly. Breathing deeply. And a nice big inhale here. And exhale, float the torso and the forehead down. And again, inhale, float on up. Exhale, float down. One more of these, float on up. And then tuck the back toes under and exhale, lift the hips back into down dog. Yep. Breathing deep. Then put a little bend in the knees, step the left foot to the left hand. Pause here for a moment. Firm up the back leg quad. So again, we're kind of creating length and strength in the body here. Ground when you're ready. This now right hand inhale, float the left hand gaze goes up. Breathe deep. Yeah, stay with the breath. Yeah. And a nice big inhale. And then exhale, the hand down, look down, and then step the back foot to the top of the mat for fully in Uttanasana. Put a little bend in the knees and then flat back inhale to standing. Elbows left, let that take us with the flat back to standing. And just reach the arms over the head, put a sway in the body. Feel into that. And then with an inhale, bend the elbows and let the heart just flourish here. The pubic bone draws back a little bit to kind of organize. Lumbar spine. And then pivot awareness to your breathing. And then inhale, float hands and arms to the sky, reach real tall. Exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale the breath. And then exhale, float the hands down. Let the eyes close here. And then lift the energy of your breathing into the center of the brain. So planes of perception. Just slowly awakening on the inner architecture of your subtle being, spiritual being. And then gently here, let the eyes open. And just feel for a moment here. And inhale, float the hands and arms up. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, Ardha. Exhale, hinge fold, and then send now the right leg back into that lunge, and we'll come up into Dvajasana or crescent. We know this as this flag pose. Let the arms reach here. Again, back heel lifts, quad active. Let the eyes soften their gaze here. A little bit. Reach, reach, reach. Yeah. And a big inhale and exhale. The hands now behind you and interlace the fingers here. Let the head, the arm bones draw back. Just breathe very deeply. And let your, go from body awareness to breath awareness. Notice the concentration in the mind. And a nice big inhale. Exhale, gently soften the grip of the hands here. Hands plant, step back, high plank, inhale, breath. Exhale, 8 points in each chest, chin, Ashtanga Pranam. Breathe very deeply here. A nice big inhale. And exhale, lift the hips back into down dog. Yeah. Breathe deeply. And then Pluto bend in the knees. Right foot now steps to the right hand. Inhale, float torso, float arms here. And then inhale, reach. Exhale, float the hands behind you. Interlace fingers. A couple breaths here. Just focusing on the breathing. Oh yeah. And then exhale the breath completely. Inhale, float hands and arms back up. Just gracefully exhale, step the back foot forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Lengthen crown towards the earth. And then inhale, elbows left, flat back to standing all the way up. Reach. And exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale here at the heart. Exhale, gently float the hands and arms down. And then inhale, float hands and arms. We'll come into chair pose, Uttanasana. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend at the knees. Stay with the breath here. Breathe very deeply. Yep. A nice big inhale, exhale, just sink a little lower. Feel into that. And just stay with your breathing. So now there's more information that the body's sharing. Make sure there's some pivot to the breath. Big inhale, exhale, sink a little lower. Go into that. And then a nice big inhale and exhale, float. Now the hands behind you. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll and then lift the elbows back. Oh, yeah. Breathe deep. And then inhale, straighten legs, reach arms to the sky. And exhale, swan dive, folding forward. All the way, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha. And exhale, fold bend the knees, send now the left leg back. And then inhale, float torso and float arms. Stay with your breathing. Yeah. And then nice big inhale. And exhale, right hand, right waist. We're going to do our twist or extended side angle twist or reach this left hand forward, fist, left hand, elbow on the outside of knee or thigh. Back heel can stay lifted here. Right hand covers the left. Just open up in the heart space here. Stay with the breath. You may want to open the arms. That's a choice. Left hand, earth, right hand, stars. Or even this right arm over the head. Just reach, reach, reach. So there's all this information that the body's sharing. Let's just go to the breath. Nice big inhale. Next, I'll gently release the twist here. Oh, it's always biggie. Hands plant, step back into high plank, high push up. Stay with the breath. Again, hips are lifting. You can see that. Float this right leg hip height. A nice big inhale, exhale, knee to chest. Give her a squeeze in. Then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest, squeeze. Then one more of these. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, squeeze. Stay with it here. Inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, gently release it down and we switch. So float the left leg. You can see my shoulders are pretty far behind my wrists. So the stance is very long. Yeah, nice big inhale. Next on the chest, squeeze. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest, squeeze. And one more inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. Appreciate your endurance here. Exhale, the leg down. Inhale. Then exhale to the knees, all the way to the belly. And then again, Bhujangasana or upward facing dog. You choose. So up dog, we engage the quads. Kind of lean back, chin tucks. It's like we're pulling the heart forward and up. Breathing deeply, connecting to the breath. And then a nice big inhale and exhale, the hips back into down dog. Yeah. Oh, yay. Take a moment here, a few deep breaths. Nourish the body with breathing to refill the tank, but don't forget that it's all kinds of pranic energies riding on that. So if we can slow the breath down, even when we're maybe a little labored to breathe, the acceleration, if you will, of the purification is very significant. Yeah, and then we'll bend the knees and send now the left foot forward and float torso, float arms. Take a minute here. Reach it. Yeah. Stay with your breathing. A nice big inhale, exhale. Now left hand, left waist, inhale, reach. Right hand forward, reach, reach, reach. Fist, right hand, elbow on the outside of the near thigh, sinking armpit to knee. Left hand covers the right, so big twist here. And again, some of you may want to open, so right hand earth, left hand stars. Maybe deeper still. This left arm over the head, reach. Breathing. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release the twist here. Hand plants, step the back foot to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep all the way to standing, reach all the way up, up, up. Arms overhead. Ooh, exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale here at the heart. And exhale, release the hands down by the sides. Take a minute here. Close the eyes. Palms just kind of float open. And lift, again, the breath into the center of the brain. So good. So nice. And just gently open the eyes here. Great, you guys inhale, reach hands and arms to the sky. Again, exhale, swan dive, fold forward. So a little one movement, one breath stuff here. In our sun salutation, extend the right leg back into the lunge. Inhale, float torso, float arms. No need to rush, but just keep moving. Exhale, float all the way down, hand plant, step back into high plank, kind of push up here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, 8 points. Inhale, pull forward, cobra or up dog. And exhale, lift the hips back into down dog. Oh yeah. And then stepping right foot, right hands. Inhale, float up, torso, arms, reach in. Then exhale, back foot steps to the top of the mat, forward folding. And then inhale, reach all the way to standing. And exhale, hands to prayer. We'll do, one more each side. Just moving and breathing. Just inhale, float up. Hands and arms. Exhale, hinge at the hips. We'll send the left leg back into lunge. And then again, inhale, float, upper body, arms, reach in. And exhale, release all the way down, hand plant, step back, high plank, push up, inhale, breath. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, 8 points. Your choice, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, lift the hips into down dog. Yeah. Left foot steps, left hand. Float torso, float arms, so reach. And then exhale, back foot steps, folding forward, Uttanasana. And then inhale, reach all the way to standing. Urdhva Namaskar, call this upward salutation. Exhale, hands to the heart. And then again, inhale, reach. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Again, now it's the right leg that goes back. Yeah, float torso, float arms. And then exhale, float all the way down, hand plants. Step back, high plank, down, push up. Again, inhale. Exhale, 8 points. Again, cobra, up dog, you choose. And then exhale, lift the hips back, down dog. And then right foot steps. Float torso, float arms. Exhale, back foot steps, folding forward. And then inhale, reach to the stars. And then exhale, just stay with me, your hands and arms shoulder height. Take a moment there, and then eagle arms. So the right arm under the left forms, palms come together, elbows out and up, shoulder blades down the back. Give the head a little bit of a stir. Just take a moment to stretch the upper back. Just feel the cascade of sensation again. It's all a process of what we identify with. Inhale, float, hands and arms wide. And then exhale, left under the right, forms palms come together, elbows out and up. Again, head stirs. Feeling into that. Oh, yeah. And then inhale, reach, hands and arms over the head. So big inhale here. Exhale, then float them behind you. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, bend the knees generously first and then hinge at the hips. The hands and arms can float over the head as appropriate. Then you can straighten the legs here. Lengthen through the inner edge. Oh, belly to the spine at some point. Let that really allow for the pelvic floor to become spacious. Low back releasing, and then gently release the grip of the hands, plant. And then from here, we'll just step back into down dog. So just gently back into down dog. Oh, yeah. And then inhale into high plank, high push-up. And then exhale to the knees, all the way to the belly. So we're going to work Cobra pose with breath retention. And we do this on occasion. It's fairly significant. And I'll just kind of keep this together, kind of see what happens here. So exhale, you're breathing. And then inhale, float on up and hold the breath in and just wait. And then exhale, gently float down. And then again, inhale, float on up, hold the breath in. And exhale, gently float out of it. And again, inhale, float on up, hold the breath in. Exhale, release down. One more. Stay with it here. Inhale, float on up, hold the breath. Lift the hips, exhale back into child's pose, forehead to the earth. And then gently inhale, come to sit on the heels or a block or blanket, whatever may be necessary or near you. Just get comfortable here. Let the eyes close. And just allow for a sense of peace to come into the being as you concentrate with the crown of the head now, but it's about an inch below the top or so inside. And it can be a little vague at first. That's okay. You can breathe into this area as well. Just opening the knowledge by direct identity. letting the heart rate just pulse and pulse, all the prana move through the body and ascend into the upper regions of the head. Jnana Chakra, home of Triguna, the three gunas, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva Guna, the very edge of Prakriti, the very edge of the universe, essentially. And then gently here, we'll make our way back into down dog. So thanks for that. Open the eyes, let the hands draw forward, and then tuck the back toes under. We'll again meet in down dog, hips lift. And then warrior one, right side, right foot steps, left heel pivots down here. Come on up. Hands and arms reach over the head. Blink the eyes a couple times, so soften the gaze. And then as you inhale, this may seem unique, but as you inhale, imagine that you're inhaling through your eardrums into your brain. Big inhale. Gently exhale, float the hands behind you, interlace the fingers here. Inhale. And exhale, draw the torso on the inside of this. Now right leg, hands and arms and such, float over the head. Breathe in. And then gently inhale, float hands and arms again. We're one position over the head, but then exhale, float them into the heart. Modified warrior three. So release the back heel. You saw that I stepped my foot in and the heel is straight. Now, and then we work the weight into this right leg, lean forward, and just straighten that front leg, lift the back leg and the body down and leg up. Hands at the heart here. And then standing split, little hinge at the hip, lift that left leg a little higher, hands to the shin or the ankle, the floor, whatever's suitable. Nice. And then I'll bend in that standing leg knee. Release the back foot down. Then inhale, float hands and arms to the sky. Exhale, gently float all the way out of it. Hands plant. Step back, high plank, high push-up. Inhale, breathing. Exhale, 8 points. Inhale, Cobra, up dog, you choose, yogi choice. We meet in down dog, exhale, lift the hips. Yeah. Left foot steps, warrior one, right heel pivots down. Take a minute here. Find your stance, honor the width. Your stance with the width of your hips, quad active, back leg, really kind of informed presence, if you will. And then the hands and arms float over the head. And then now you kind of be selective. Maybe start running your awareness to the body, to the breath, to third eye, or to the top of the head even. And then inhale, reaching. Exhale, float the hands and arms behind you, interlace fingers. Just pause here, breathe. Oh yeah. Ooh, big inhale. And exhale, float the torso on the inside of this. Now left leg, hands and arms and such, over the head, breathe. Just bring in a sense of presence and calm always to the experience. And then exhale the breath completely. Then inhale, float up and out of it. Hands and arms reach to the sky. And then exhale, hands to prayer. Just pause here. Create some connection to your perception, identification, and then release the back heel kind of points to the sky. Work the weight into now this left leg. Of course, then straighten that front leg and lift the back leg. Modified warrior three. Heart's lifting, really extend to the lifted foot here. Nice big inhale. And exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forward, standing split. Lift that right leg a little more. Hands to the floor, the ankle. Breathe in. Oh, yeah. And then exhale, gently, carefully bend the standing leg knee, release the back foot down. I always kind of find a graceful way to do that. Inhale, reach hands and arms high. Exhale, gently float out of it. A little vinyasa thing. We'll meet in down dog. So do what you do here. Do what you want to do. And we'll just meet in down dog. Yeah, breathe deep. And then float the right leg hip height here. Extend through the big toe mound. Then take the leg higher. Let the hip naturally spin open, and then bend the knee and just track that right foot over towards the left. Maybe lift that right knee a little more. Maybe ground the left heel a little more. Yeah. Just a little touch and go on a core work here. Nice big inhale, and then exhale the right knee to the left elbow, all the way across the body. Feel that? Then inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, gently release it down, and we'll switch. So float the left leg hip height there. Pause initially. And then take the leg higher, hip spins open, open, open. And then bend that left knee when you're ready. Track the foot over towards the right. Open up. Grab that right heel. Oh, yeah. Then inhale, straighten that left leg. And then exhale, left knee, right elbow. A little squeeze there. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, you're breathing. Child's pose, exhale to the knees. Widen the knees, big toes together, forehead, earth. Hands back to the ankles. Just take a moment there. Just staying with deep yogic breathing. And then gently inhale. Coming up and again, sitting on the block or the heels, ankles. Eyes closed when you're ready. It's always a moment for integration. So nice, y'all. And let's just gently, you can open the eyes here, pivot forward, and we'll meet in down dog again. So down dog. And then pigeon pose here. So float the right leg behind you, and then right knee, right hand or so. Just let the foot release down. We're going to work this just a little bit. Come on to the top of the back foot here. And then gently walk the hands just a little bit back, but then we isometrically squeeze into the midline. So draw this right hip back and the left hip forward. And as we squeeze into the middle, then we just release our hands here and let the arms float over the head and even back if you want. And just stay with the breath. And then a nice big inhale. Exhale, both the hands down by the sides here. Ground the hands and then send that left foot back to ground the right hip. Maybe a block under the hip. We know that. Here, take a moment. Let the head of the arm runs. Draw back, lean back. Chin tucks a little bit. Inhale here. And then exhale. Come onto the forearms. Yeah, just forearms. Elbows stack under the shoulders. Breathe into the hip. Connect to your breath. Perfect opportunity to take your perception into the third eye. So nice. And gently let the hands just track underneath you. We'll meet back into downward facing dog. So float that right leg behind you. You can wiggle it a little bit or open the hip. You choose if you want to kind of do that. Just get a little blood back in there. And then we'll switch this out when you're ready. So ground that right foot, float the left, and then left knee, left hand, foot releases down. Once again, to come onto the top of the back foot, squeeze into the middle. Just feel that energy, and then we can just release the hands. And I just tuck the chin a little bit, and then the palate draws back, and then we can just float the arms. And you can spread the toes of the back foot. That's always an interesting thing, because then it contracts the entire front of the body, and you're then strengthening what you're lengthening. And that's always just a really dynamic way to work with the body. Nice big inhale, exhale the hands down now, and then send that right foot back, ground left hip or block on the earth. You choose. Lean back once again. So big, chested pigeon. And a nice big inhale and exhale. Float onto the forearms here. Elbows stacked under the shoulders. I refrain from drooping. I want to keep my spine, instead of collapsing here, I just want to keep some integrity in the spine. That left hip open. Early on in my yoga studies, I read somewhere that if a yogi could be aware of every breath for a 24-hour period of time, that they would be self-realized. It's always just stuck with me about breath-connected awareness, and dharana, about concentration of the mind. Let the hands draw back underneath you here, ground hands, and then send that left leg back, wiggle it or whatever. Oh, yeah. And then let's just gently walk to a forward fold here. So Uttanasana. Let the head really hang heavy here. Grab opposite elbows so the spine gets some traction, and then bring the belly button to the spine to feel into a little deeper pivot of the pelvis. And then we'll come into Malasana. We know this is garland pose. The toes open, the heels turn in. Then we come to squatting, knees bend, hips on a block if this is a little challenging for your body and things. Hands to prayer here, like so. And just breathe. And then we'll open up into a twist, so the right hand can go to the earth, the left hand to the stars. And then maybe a little bind action here, so bend elbows, grabbing, maybe. And then neutral position here. And again, we'll open up, so left earth, right stars, open up. Oh, yeah. And then gently release to prayer here again. And then hands behind you, hips, release down. Just take a minute here. Relax for just a minute. I'm going to turn towards you. We'll come into Janu. Shavasana. Extend the left leg out. Draw the right knee in here. Then we'll just twist the upper body over the extended leg. Get some length here. Chin's going to tuck slightly. Inhale, breath. And exhale, lean forward, and then grab the shins here, but don't round, right? So keep some length in the spine. And there's this isometric action. We're kind of pulling the leg into the joint. It's really good that way. And then a nice big inhale and exhale. Now we can feel free to round into it. Let the hands move forward a little bit. Head can release down. Breathe into the belly. And we know that opens the kidneys and the back body so sweetly. Oh yeah, and then gently inhale, come on up. So just track the hands up the leg. And then we'll just do a little twist here. So turn over to the right here. A little twist of the body. And then back to neutral, and then we switch this out. So extend now the right leg. Draw the left knee in, open up. Now twist over the extend the leg. Lengthen the spine here. Breathe in. Then lean just a little bit forward. Instead of rounding, we're still lengthening. And then grab the shin. Breathe deep. Oh, yeah. Then nice big inhale and exhale. Lengthen out as you pull down. Certainly release the head and fangs. Breathe into the belly now. And let the kidneys, back body, get some love that way. Yeah. And tummy to the spine. Inhale, track the hands up the legs. Twist now to the left. Just lengthen here. Open up. Oh, yeah. Nice big inhale. And exhale, soften the twist here. And we'll just extend this left leg. Paschimottanasana. We know this is west facing stretch. Hands ground. Lengthen through the spine here. And then once again, just for fun, hands to shins. And then just start lengthening forward. That's the best way to put it. Instead of rounding, lengthen forward. So the shoulder blades are pulling down the back, shoulders away from the ear, belly to the spine. Even you can spread the toes if you want. Find your breathing. So it's your practice to find what kind of perceptive field you want to work with. Hands to the feet here. Inhale. And exhale, gently rounding now. Head releases. Breathe into the back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then gently inhale, walk the hands. Oh, yeah. Up the legs here. A little bend in the knees. So Baddha Konasana. So bound angle, we know this as. Soles of the feet together, hands to the feet. We kind of squeeze the heels, actually, heels together by the buttocks. And then kind of engage what's one of your the gluteus medius, and that's what pulls the knees down, and then just lengthen the spine. Oh, yeah. And then gently soften here. Just kind of draw up. And then extend now the left leg. Take the right knee and cradle it. So foot into the instep into the elbow crease. And just a little wiggle, little cradle. Go into that. Get that hip some love again. And then just simply we'll release this and switch it out. So extend that right leg, bend left, elbow crease, foot, step, little rocking. Oh, yeah. And then gently release here. I'm just going to spin around on my mat and just really gently using the core muscles to come onto your back all the way down. Oh. Send the arms long over the head. Legs long, just get a full body stretch to start. And we'll come into Setuasana, which is bridge pose. So give the knees a bend, the feet go flat here. Gaze stay straight. And then ground the upper arm bones into the earth as you lift the hips and then kind of wiggle up onto the shoulder girdle that way. And then interlace the hands underneath you. If you want more sensation, you can walk the feet a little closer and then make sure that there's a natural curve in the cervical spine so the chin is lifting slightly. And then just continue to kind of ascend the hips energetically and muscularly here. Just breathing deep. And then gently, release the hips down. Hands can unlock here, hips release all the way. Just soften here for a moment. Oh, yeah. Hug the knees then into the chest, give a little squeeze. You can rock side to side, a little massage of the spine. Oh, yeah. And gently, we'll come into a supine twist. Shift the hips to the right and the knees to the left. The legs stack here, 90 degrees. Gaze goes to the right. And then draw the knees back up, and we'll switch here, hips to the left, gently knees float to the right, gaze to the left. And then gently let the knees track back up here. Give them a hug, and we'll come into Viparita Krani Mudra, reverse posture seal. Ground the hands and lift the hips, or place the hips on a block or a blanket. You choose. I'm going to go ahead and ground my hands and lift my hips. Kind of wiggle up onto the shoulder girdle again. Hands, and then go to the low back. And there's like a V shape between the legs and the torso. Again, natural curve of the cervical spine. Let the eyes close here. Work any part of your inner perception, your inner drishti. And very gently begin to release out of it here. Feet to the earth. And then give the knees a little hug into the chest mindfully. And the feet back down. Extend the legs long, or do our breath retentions before, Shavasana here. So exhale your breathing completely, and then take a nice big inhale and hold your breath in. Gently release your breath if you haven't already. And then coming into Shavasana, so coming into corpse pose, that's comfortable for you and suitable. Just take whatever time you may need to get comfortable. So the nature of Shavasana, the nature of corpse pose is non-being, non-being. So any kind of directed awareness is essentially released. One's encouraged to just fully let go here and relax. One might even find themselves listening to stillness, listening to stillness. And then allowing just a sense of presence to pervade.
Just allow that which is the witness in you to fully emerge. Just witnessing any kind of contact of experience, subtle or physical, but with independence, a sense of harmony as well. And just notice how refined your breathing is. And then let the breath gently lengthen. And then begin to come back into the body, a little stretch of the arms and things, moving, feet, hands and stuff, hugging the knees at some point, so a little hug of the knees. And come to either side. It feels good for you here this morning. And then just gently make your way up to a seated position. Okay, so just take a moment and establish your seat here, your asana. And for those who may be newer on the stream, this is the part in our practice where we do our pranayama and our meditation. And we'll have, just to let you know, we'll probably have about another 15 minutes of practice here. So just kind of get organized. So I do ask that you kind of clear the space that's surrounding your body. Sometimes some of these pranayams can be really energetically powerful, and so it's sometimes on occasion a person will lose body awareness momentarily. And this first practice,
we'll do can be really interesting. But what I'd like for us to do is take a full yogic breath inhale and hold the breath, and then just take the belly and push it out, and then pull it towards the spine, and then push it out, pull it towards the spine, push it out, pull it towards the spine 3 times while holding the breath in, and then exhale your breathing, and same thing, push it out, in, out 3 times. And so it can be really significant practice. So we'll do it, together here. So just exhale your breathing initially, and then take a nice big inhale. Hold the breath here, and then push the belly out, and then to the spine, out, to the spine, out, to the spine, and then exhale, and then hold the breath out, push the belly out, to the spine. 2 more times. And then inhale. Just feeling what you need to feel here. We'll do 1 more round of this. So exhale your breath, and now just find your own pacing. Inhaling, hold the breath in. Just feel the effects of the practice. So this next practice we did last week, we'll do it again. Chaturbhuj, pranayama, the 4-part breath. And so the technique is you use the yogic breath, so belly expands, ribs expand, chest lifts and expands, but you have a certain duration of time. Let's say it takes you 5 counts to do that breath, or 10 counts to do that breath. And so you say inhale for 8 counts, split the difference, inhale for 8, hold the breath for 8, exhale for 8 counts, and then hold the breath out for 8 counts. And then inhale. That's the practice. So kind of like Samavriti Pranayama, equal parts breathing or equal breath. But one feature makes this really significantly unique. And that is on the exhale retention, things can get a little heady for your nervous system. It'll begin to refract. It'll respond a little bit. And you don't want to go too far with that. But it's also good to kind of touch on a little bit of stress in the nervous system and in the nervous, because then that's actually, it's releasing pranic energy, and it's also purifying it. And so this practice is really significantly powerful. So Chaturbhuj Pranayama, and we'll do 2 rounds, and you're kind of at your own pace here. So 2 rounds, Chaturbhuj Pranayama, the 4-part breath. Inhale for a certain amount, hold, exhale, same count, hold the breath out, same count. So just begin when you're ready. And just breathe. Breathe normally here. Just feeling the effects of the practice. Make any adjustments to the seated position last time for stability for meditation practice. And first, allow for your awareness, your perception to be fully embodied in the physical form. And just take whatever moments that you need to get stable and comfortable, and just kind of feel the body completely. And then let the breath gently just kind of continue to subside. A little belly breathing, maybe. Just notice maybe the pulsing of your pranic energy in the body. Planes of perception. Again, just be fully absorbed into your pranic body. So there's, say, not one specific location. It's within the body and also outside of the body a little bit. And then gently begin to ascend your awareness into the third eye. We know this as four finger widths deep inside the brain, level of the eyebrows there. As you continue to breathe subtly, you can just gently on your inhale lift the energy of the breath of prana into the chakra of the third eye, Agnya, and then exhale, letting that energy expand. It's likely you feel some sensation in there, and that's fine. Just going to stay with that. What we understand about the third eye is it's the first conscious principle removed from the five elements, from the Mahabhutas. So there's no element here. It's useful to add the mantra of Om here as you inhale and exhale, if you choose. Allow for the being to have a sense of dispassion as well. So just pivot to a sense of ease and letting go. So we begin to make this transition from doing to a sense of being. So in the concentration in the mantra and the breath, let it just become a little lighter. Hold it just more sublime or carefully. Just gently moving up the chain of perception, let now the awareness ascend into the Jnana chakra area, 1 inch below the crown or so inside. And carry the breath focused awareness and the mantra of Om as you ascend the awareness into Jnana chakra. And you begin to observe that the prana follows your awareness upward, and that's ideal. Explore this energetic lift into the region of the top of the head. We're awakening the perception of knowledge by direct identity. This is the knowledge that comes as you share directly with the quality of experience of that being that you're perceiving. It could virtually be any object. And then now gently let your awareness ascend again to this place that's above the top of the head. 6 inches or so, just above the head, and carry the mantra of Om with you, breath. And established here, let the mantra of Om and your breath focus begin to subside. And the perception here is what's called Jnana Shakti. And that's the perception of the expanding universe. So just imagine that you're beginning to become wider and wider in all directions from the top of the head. And then you're even moving from the plane of the earth into the expanse and the stillness of space. Expanding. Almost as if you're traveling through time here. And then it's as if you're approaching the edge of the universe, and your perception is that you are the universe. wide, vast expanse. Stillness and peace. Present, full, and at the same time empty. Sustaining this witness quality. Bring your hands to prayer here at the heart and reflect back into the intention. Maybe layer that intention with this, say, possibly more illuminated quality of perceiving. And with gratitude for your practice and participation into the teachings of yoga, namaste. Scoot forward here. So thank you very much, friends, for again participating in that, and certainly, send me a little shout out with any reflections or any questions on the process or the practice. And again, just a great deal of gratitude for you showing up for your practice and choosing, to work with me on that. I'm very grateful. And there's a lot of work happening up here at Shivalaya, and feel like I'm finally ready to set some retreat dates. I just wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to get done what I got done, and so pretty pretty close. So I did a post on Facebook, and you can kind of see some of what's happening up here. So I'll keep everyone informed. And yeah, the Venmo thing, I always mention that. And bring your friends, and next time online, however that works. And you know how that is. Shigako, yes, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Love, peace. Sarah, nice to have you back. You're very welcome. Yeah, you have a beautiful day as well. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. Yeah. Om and namaste.